This video is sponsored by Marvel Strike Force. Welcome to another Top 5 with Kris 05, guys. The meta right now definitely has seen better days, and currently we kinda literally have 4 playable classes in the game, but still, in this video I'm gonna show you the 5 best decks to hit easy legend with in the current meta. I'm gonna talk about their mulligans, their win rates, and their general tips, and we're also gonna talk about all of the other working archetypes for each individual class, so stick around to the end. If you find what I'm doing helpful, a like and subscribe would be appreciated, and don't forget you can check me out live each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday live at Twitch. Except for this week, where I'm gonna be having a quick little vacation, and honestly I could not have picked a better time not to be playing Hearthstone much. But yeah, now let's get into it. Before we get into the best decks, I want to remind you that now is a great time to start playing Marvel Strike Force. A huge 4-week Spider-Man event is running until August 27th, bringing new gameplay, exclusive rewards, and a Spider-Man tower that resets each week. I've been playing the game for over 3 weeks now, and seeing my characters grow after each day really is satisfying. If you want to play alongside me, download Marvel Strike Force through my download link or the QR code, and use promo code SPIDEY to get yourself a head start and unlock the ultimate duo Spider-Man and Hulk, as well as other rewards. My current team includes Spider-Man, Hulk, Black Knight, Black Widow, and Captain America. Spider-Man and Hulk recently got huge reworks, and this squad gives me a great mix of damage, speed, and durability. I can't wait to unlock the rest of the amazing new Avengers with Rachel Cole, Spider-Woman, as well as Blade Mighty, so I can finally see their full potential in action. You can also join my new alliance, Kris 05 squad. All you gotta do is search for it in the alliance page and join us if you want to progress together. Also, you can skyrocket your progress if you check out the Time Heist offer, definitely was super worth it for my account. And if you want to see my full impressions and complete overview of Marvel Strike Force, make sure to check out the full video on my channel. Download Marvel Strike Force through my download link, use code SPIDEY, and jump into the Spider-Man event before it ends.
You are not prepared!
Obviously, the first deck on the list is gonna be Z-Shaman, and this has been the situation for quite a while now. After the latest balance patch, Z-Shaman really has been skyrocketing in power, and not much has changed about it. This current particular list is probably the best deck you could be playing for Easy Legend right now, and tomorrow you're gonna see an updated guide about it on my channel, and of course you could be seeing my other versions of this deck and guides about him from not too long ago as well. The deck is very fast, it also has pretty strong mid-game, and heck, even potential good late-game with things like Alakir and Deathwing, and usually you really do curve out amazingly well with something like this. You can double Battlecry all sorts of super impactful minions like Skywall Sentinel, like your Slackclaw, like your Ultraxion, the Envoy of the End, and heck, if you already have a good board, even Hijack Security Bot can be absolutely insane. You also have a lot of early game potential with things like Galagio Goon, and with this guy you can cheat out so much extra stats, even literally as soon as turn 1 or 2 with the help of things like Witch's Apprentice and other 1-drops, or you could be doing the same, even better, with the help of Warden Maiev. Definitely do check out my guides about this deck if you really want to see it in action, but now let's see the updated matchups, and this one is not the most populated list out there, but for the most part you should be having no problem winning against everything except for Mug Shaman, which definitely does counter you. We could check out similar decks here, like this one for instance, just a single card difference but a lot more sample size, and here we're gonna see that the deck really does not have any bad matchups aside from Mug Shaman, or a Paladin could be a 50-50, everything else very good except for Egg Warrior, which is also kinda close to 50. For the mulligan, here's what we have. Going first, you are going to be looking for anything 2 mana or less. Do not hold on to the Shadowed Informant when going first, however, because you're not even going to discover a Shaman spell out of it. And as for going second, again, anything 2 mana or less would be a no-brainer, and if you're curving into the Hijack Security Bot or the Slackclaw, it could be a good idea to hold on to him, even when going first. And on the second spot, might as well talk about the other good Shaman deck right now, which of course would be Mug Shaman. And yeah, Mug Shaman really has been strong ever since it came out. The only nerf it did see was the Blazing Invocation, and also the meta kind of shifted after that patch, so Mug Shaman was kind of lost for a while. But now it's basically back at the top, even from Diamond 5 to Legend, and especially at Top Legend, people are really making a killing with it. The deck is very annoying to play with, it curves out way too well, way too quickly, and with things like Blazing Invocation, low security security wing and mountain map, you could be dropping some absolutely amazing units even as soon as turn 1. And you just keep on doing that turn after turn. You get the cheat out minions a lot sooner than you're supposed to, and usually that's more than enough to make most opponents stop kicking. With things like Ascendance, you can make your board a lot more annoying than it has to be. You of course have all of the spell minions with Molten Gold, with Frost Shatter, as well as with Storm Fury, and those are obviously way too busted. And you do have a reasonable amount of chip damage from hand with things like Fire Breath, Thunderquake. This one is even running Lightning Bolts, which I haven't seen much of, Static Shock, that kind of stuff. We also have a couple of hexes in here so you can handle any egg decks you might find or anything else that you might feel like worth hexing. But yeah, for the most part, Mug Shaman has been figured out by now, so again, check out my detailed guide about it. For the matchups, here's what we have for this one. Again, not the most populated out of the lot, but definitely looking pretty good from what we see here. Let's see a similar list with not that many differences. This one, for instance, wow, I did not expect not to have Muradin's Last Stand on a deck like this, but color me impressed. Apparently this one is working better, the one with the lightning bolts. And here are the matchups. Here's what it is. Void Demon Hunter used to be bad, but with that out of the way, everything is basically a positive matchup for you, so why wouldn't you? As for the mulligan, here's what it looks like going first. Blazing Invocation, Mountain Map, and Low Security would be all your top 3 picks. Going first and second, the Ritual of Power is great, the Frost Shatter is decent, the Molten Gold, Static Shock, so you can actually load up all of those spell minions, and even Times of Sand and Thunderquake could make sense if you already have the Molten Gold or the Frost Shatter when going first. Going second, however, it's kind of the same deal, but here even Storm Fury can make sense, especially if you're against the Hunter. For other good Shaman decks, there really isn't anything else to talk about, like it's just Z and Mug obviously. Herald Shaman is definitely dead in the water right now, and let me just show you the decks I'm showing you today. This one is for the last 7 days from Diamond 5 to Legend, 59 plus win rate, 2100 games, and as for the Mug Shaman, it is quite lower than the Z, but still pretty respectable. Here it is, 1100 games, 57.7 win rate with the lightning bolts. Of course, you could be going for the much more established Mug Shaman, which would be this one, but as you saw, it has quite the win rate difference, like literally almost 1%, but with 22,000 games, and also with the Muradin's Last Stand, I really can't say no to that. But yeah, take it with a grain of salt. It is up to you which list you actually prefer. On the number 3 spot, I surprised nobody by saying it's gonna be Face Hunter, and people kind of feel like this is the most strong deck out there right now. It's definitely the most annoying one, which you feel like you don't have anything to do against them because they just curve out so well, but as you guys saw, Shamans are actually having some pretty insane stats themselves. But yeah, Face Hunter is just way too good, way too simple, way too straightforward, and people just simply get annoyed by it, because it does kind of feel like you're dying inevitably no matter what you do against them, especially if they curve out properly. This is of course with the tripwire package, with the weapon, with the location, with both the tripwires with Arcane and Beast tripwire, and this can be an absolutely amazing way to curve out. We also have the more aggressive list here with the Keldore, Fletcher, as well as Sizzling Cinders. We have a lot of 1-drops, which we are gonna get to repeat with the help of Confront the Tolvir, and we have some interesting inclusions like Blood Mage Thanos is in here, Double Rock Skipper is in here, so this way you could actually chip away at the opponent's face even harder. I have seen plenty of lists with Precise Shot as well, but this one is opting against it. And of course we do have the Sylvanas sisters, that kind of stuff. Again, plenty of Face Hunter guides on my channel, both with and without the underbelly, so you could give those a check. But let's now see what the matchups are looking like, and Aggro Pally is not going to be that great for you if you manage to find one, and Z-Shaman is actually a little bit too annoying for you as well, but Sylvanas definitely does help against those. Everything else very positive, so climbing should not be an issue. When it comes down to the mulligan, when you're first, you are going to be looking for your good 1-drops like the Sizzling Cinder, the Keldore Fletcher, and the Smuggler's Shovel, even though the minions would be the better thing to be doing on turn 1. Holding on to things like Arcane Tripwire and the location is also pretty good. One of the sisters could be good, and that usually would be Varisa, because the other two would be a lot better amped up. Wound Prey, depending on the matchup, could be considered, and Beast Tripwire, especially if you're curving into it, especially if you have a shovel already. Going second, here the Beast Tripwire is even more capable, but for the most part it's kind of the same deal. Here, things like Wound Prey, Tracking, and even Sylvanas could also be pretty okay. Rock Skipper, if you've already kept a lot and you don't have a 2-drop, maybe, but for the most part you are going to be looking for something better like the location. For other good Hunter decks, we have Face Hunter, Tripwire Hunter, Quest Hunter, and even Companion Hunter, but let's not pretend Companion Hunter is viable right now. Same can be said for Quest Hunter, even though, look at this one is actually kind of playable, yo. Albeit the one that's really established is sitting at 53, still kind of looks respectable. Might even give it a check today, cause God knows I'm sick of playing this boring meta. But yeah, let's actually see exactly what the stats are for the list I'm showing you. This one, 3,400 games, 58% win rate, definitely nothing to scoff at. We have a much more classic list here with 57.4, with a lot more sample size as well. This one is running Neri, as well as a couple of reinforcement trailers. And of course, we also have decently populated lists with the underbelly, but I'm gonna have to scroll further to actually see someone with a very big sample size. This one, for instance, looks pretty good. 5,100 games, but only 55% win rate. Not the best, definitely, but definitely another great option for easy legend. And as you see, some people have some small sample size lists with the underbelly. This one for the last 7 days with 500 games, definitely nothing to scoff at. Heck, I could have even included it into this top 5, but for 7 days, just 500 games is just not that big a sample size. For 3 days, sure, but for 5, we are looking for close to 1,000 or over it. On the number 4 spot, again, no surprises here. Of course, it's gonna be Troublemaker Rogue, and this deck is absolutely insane, especially in Top Legend, all thanks to things like Jade Guardians as well as the Lotus Troublemakers. Both of these cards are absolutely busted right now still, and even after the changes to Lotus Troublemaker, I still believe this card maybe needs to get reverted back to its old situation, but can only kill minions, cause right now it really just feels stupid. The Jade Guardians is another thing that really feels stupid, and I would not be surprised if this thing goes nerfed down to discover 7 drops instead of 8 cost minions, but until that happens, you can definitely abuse the hell out of this deck for some easy climbing if you know how to play it. Don't get me wrong, the deck does have decently high skill cap to win a lot more than you're supposed to with it, but it also has a reasonably easy entry level, so no matter how good or bad you are with this deck, you should still be winning more than you're losing, but if you're really good with it, it's gonna be insane. Going through the deck, there's nothing too crazy about this list. I already did show you in the previous top 5 the Doomsayer list with a couple of these. We also have a single copy of Cult Neophyte, so you can prevent some spell heavy decks against you. The Escape Artist has become a staple card in here. Garona definitely helps, especially with the weapon that's gonna help you draw out your other legendary cards like Shadow of Demise, like Talnos, like Garona herself, and so on and so forth. Yeah, definitely check out my updated guide about this one if you want to see how it works in action. For the matchups, we don't have too much on this particular list, but again, we could check out something similar like this one, for instance. Very small change, but the win rate for it is a lot lower. Maybe we can check this one. I don't know. Yeah, this one is higher win rate, big sample size. Let's see how it looks like. And Egg Death Knight is not going to be that great for you if you manage to find one. Herald Warlock also might be problematic, but you are going to be okay against Hunters and decent against Mug Shaman and Z Shaman, so all around definitely looks good. And again, this would look much better if you're actually very good with the deck. When going first with it, you're always going to be looking for your good 2-drops, and honestly, the Lotus Bookie would be your best 2-drop to hold on to when going first, because this way, this is going to allow to follow up with a couple of 2-drops as soon as turn 3, thanks to the coin if the opponent allows you to kill it. The Bitter Bloom is great, the Escape Artist, Jade Guardian can be amazing, depending on the matchup, Doomsayer can also be pretty good, Eventuality could be worth it, Cult Neophyte, the Weapon even, depending on the matchup, could even consider Fan of Knives. Going second, again, basically the same 2-drops remain great, but also Shadowed Informant becomes a lot better here, because this would be something you can coin out as soon as turn 1 to discover yourself potentially a second Jade Guardian. The Doomsayer has become more keepable, but it's kind of really the same deal. I'd say Fan of Knives also might make sense if you're against a Face Hunter, let's say. For other good rogues, we really don't have much else when it comes down to the rogue class, even though we could see, yeah, Quest Rogue, not even close, Coin Rogue, not even close, Other, whatever the hell that's supposed to be, is just another. Yeah, this one is actually different. It doesn't run the Troublemakers, which sounds weird, but the win rate and the sample size not that great, so it really does leave you with just Troublemaker rogues, and the one I'm showing you in this video would be this one, 56.7% win rate, 1100 games, definitely not bad, so give it a check, see how strong it is. And the last deck on the list, honestly, I had to dig deep here, like the win rate for this deck and the sample size for it is really not that impressive, but Aura Paladin definitely does look like it's the 5th best deck. But like I told you, right now we really have 4 playable classes, and I guess Paladin is just at the end of those 4 classes, so yeah, let's give this one a check, even though in Top Legend you would not see this deck at all. But from Diamond 5 to Legend, Paladins have usually served people well. This is the Beatrix Aura Pally with the Scarlet Bruisers, Treasures. And this is a deck that has been around for quite a while now. We do have ourselves the Violet Treasure Guilds, which fish out the acceleration auras, but we also have things like reinforcement auras. The Vigilant Sentry is pretty cool. The flight maneuvers are gonna be great, so you can buff out a lot of people. The entire aura package is in here with Manifested Timeways, with Gelbin, and we also have the End Turn package with Bulwark, Spearheart Sentry, and so on and so forth. Again, I do have guides about this deck from a while ago. I simply have not played this deck lately because it really doesn't do that well in Top Legend, but for the most part you still probably are going to be able to hit Legend with this one if you know how to play it. For the matchups, here's what we have right now. Mug Shaman is not going to be your friend. Everything else either 50-50 or very much in your favor, however. And as for the mulligan, you're always going to look for your Violet Treasure Guild. The 1-drop Righteous Protector would be good. Reinforcement Aura is okay. Vigilant Sentry would be amazing. Flight Maneuver is also a no-brainer. And if you don't have the Treasure Guild, you can definitely hold on to the Acceleration Aura. The weapon is also not bad. Spearheart Sentry if you're curving into it. And Manifested Timeways depending on the matchup and if you already have a way to fish out your early game aura. On the coin, again, kind of the same deal, so mulligan accordingly. For other good Paladin decks, we do have several different options out there. This is the one I'm showing you, close to 1000 games, 56+% win rate, so not the worst, that's for sure, but far from the best either. We also have a different aura pally list here with the weapon and such, again with similar sample size and stats, so definitely not that bad. And scrolling down further, we can see that the other bigger population sample size lists are not doing as well according to the win rate. This one is pretty close to the one I already showed you, so kind of very big difference with the win rate, so I don't know. Scrolling down lower, we can even see Maiev Aggro Pally is definitely not doing as well as it used to be, so all around that's about it for the Pally class. As for the other classes we haven't mentioned yet, starting off with Death Knight, Corpse Death Knight looks definitely pretty reasonable right now, so you could give that one a try. Egg Death Knight is not an easy deck to be winning with, but people in Top Legend have done well with it, so there's that. And Herald Death Knight is somewhat playable, but not really. As you see, the win rates are just absolutely horrible. Speaking of horrible, Demon Hunter is absolutely gutted right now. Like, imagine half a nerf what that made to the deck, like this Vicious Void scale from hero to absolute dog water. Kinda crazy how a small change like this really destroyed the deck completely, but yeah, this is the situation we have right now. Moving down to Druids, Jombrick has been doing really well with Merifra Druid and Top Legend, so there's that, but for the most part, Chef Druid is the one that's actually doing reasonably well, from Diamond 5 to Legend at least. There's also a version with the Egg, which sounds pretty weird honestly, but I guess. And the rest really don't look that amazing. Moving down to Mage, right now Quest Mage is having a much better time flourishing with all those Vipers not getting around because of Void Demon Hunters, so in Top Legend you are gonna see way too many Quest Mages doing way too good, because controlling your RNG is definitely not easy, but it's definitely very rewarding. Burn Mage is also looking okay. You could check out my video about the Burn Mage we tried on my channel. In my meta it definitely didn't look too great, and from Diamond 5 to Legend not many people are playing it right now, so we don't have too much stats for it, but I do believe it does have potential. And Leyline Mage also looks pretty bad right now. As for Priest, honestly, Azalina Priest is way too better than I expected, and same can be said for Quest Priest, even though not that many people play it. You can definitely expect some reasonable good win rate with it if you know how to play it. Scrolling down further, we can see several different iterations of Quest. Azalina not doing that great from Diamond 5 to Legend, but people in Top Legend are actually having some pretty crazy results with it, and you could check out my updated guide about this one. Next up we have Warlock, and right now Egg Warlock, Rafam Warlock, and Herald Warlock would be the playable Warlock versions, but honestly in a meta like this it does feel a little bit too bad to be playing something this slow, so for the most part if you're trying to really climb, Warlock is probably going to be off the table, even though it's definitely possible. It's not going to be easy and probably not very enjoyable either. And lastly we have Warrior, with Dragon Warrior with Warp Tooth still being at the top of the lists. We can also see Egg Warrior doing reasonably well, and Low Gash Control Warrior is also above 50 but not by much, so all around Warrior has definitely seen better days. So that's gonna be it for this top 5, guys. I hope this helps you climb to Easy Legend in this not very amazing meta. If you enjoyed the video and find what I'm doing helpful, drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment what's your favorite deck right now. Don't forget to download Marvel Strike Force through my download link and use promo code Spidey to get Spider-Man and Hulk for free and join my alliance, Kris05 squad. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Kris05 and I'll see you in my next video or stream.